This is Karam Kazan, one of the co-founders and leaders of the What's Good.dog Web3 Engineers Collective. We're a group of 40 or so engineers and builders, and we help our partner companies and friends ship Web3 products. And this is the beginning of our group coding session, where me and one of our members, Matthew Chan, at Bankranker on Twitter, will be coding the smart contract layer of our decentralized social media experience. So let's just dive in.
There's like a VS Code extension that allows two people to go into a session together. Like I can code while you're coding, kind of thing.
I've
So
used it before.
Yeah, we can.
I'm super down.
That's cool. Yeah.
What was it called? Like Code Sync or some shit?
That's a good question. Let me look. Live share, is that what it's called?
Yeah, what's good? We do. Should I put it on what's good or no? Yeah. We gotta find a better name for this project. Let's do pm init. Good. Let's do git init. Good. And then let's code inside it.
What's PNPM?
PNPM is like Yarn and NPM. It's a package manager. From my perspective, it has a few advantages over both Yarn and NPM.
Okay.
One is that they carefully thought out how a monorepo should function, because what ends up in a lot of monorepo projects where I worked on is there's a lot of dependency version conflicts. So you just, as a maintainer, you just have to keep juggling package JSONs and then like hoisting, not hoist. It just becomes a nightmare. It works on your machine, breaks on another guy's machine, doesn't work on CI. What PNPM does is, instead of directly, so you know how when you run a node app, if a node module is not found in the current directory, it looks one directory up and then up and up until it hits the root of your file system. Okay. So for example, if you have a project with a package JSON and a node modules directory in the same level, you can write code that has a dependency that's not listed in package JSON. That's the normal node way. Like that's how node is built. Right. So it'll keep going up, and the majority of monorepo solutions depend on that principle, where the dependencies can be in the root level of your monorepo, as opposed to the project level. So for example, you can have like services, and then like you can have service 1, and let's say there's a package JSON here. And you can have service 2, and you can have another package JSON here. And you can have a node modules in the root directory and in the service layer.
I see, okay.
So this is how it is structured for like every monorepo. But Node has this support where you can have code in service 1 where the dependency is not inside this node modules, it's actually inside this one. And it works. And that's a convenience, but it's also a bad thing, because what ends up happening is the monorepo service, like the underlying framework, will usually hoist shared dependencies up top to this directory to save space, time, etc. But over time, that ends up working against you, because you may have like a dependency in service 1 and another dependency in service 2. And they may have, those dependencies may have like a third dependency where the versions clash. And then like that is the penultimate problem in dependency management. I guess this was a very long way of explaining answering the question, but like that's the part that bothers me the most in Yarn workspaces and npm's own native workspace support or Lorna. But PNPM, which by the way you can use with Lorna, lists every dependency inside the node modules of your service. Even if it's an alias, it's listed here. And if there's a version clash, version issue, it's still, it just deals with it for you. It takes care of it for you.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
that's the thing I really, really like about PNPM. That's
Okay.
one. Two, it's faster.
Okay. That's huge already too.
Yeah, it is. And then I also like the way it lists the peer dependency conflicts and like deprecated packages. It's very intuitive the way it shows you what's going on. You can just immediately see what you need to fix. All right. So
well, now I know. And PNPM.
yeah. To node modules and then package JSON can stay. Let's do.
Do you use Hardhat?
I do, but for this project, I want to learn how to use what's it called? Forge?
Foundry?
Foundry? Yeah, I want to learn those things.
Okay, so I don't know anything about Foundry then either. I was gonna say we could do like MPX Hardhat init, but if we're using Foundry, then it's a bit different.
Can I start live share? Start collaboration, yeah. In the meantime, I'm gonna set up the
Okay, I'm in.
beautiful. So can you just like browse whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're here. Perfect. And then let's do services. That's good.
Yeah, make the terminal read write for everyone.
Yeah. Perfect. Don't install shit on my computer though, please. Okay, so new folder, services. Actually, let's do packages and then
do we have to do this stuff? Because like, oh, I see what you're doing now. Never mind.
just setting up the base skeleton in which we can work. We're not going to use node modules yet, I guess, but just setting up the base structure. So
Okay.
there's one more thing. So Foundry, does it create the folder itself? Foundry.
Yes, it creates 4 folders actually.
What's the term? Like, do you use Forge init or something?
1 second. Let's see where it is.
Yeah, Forge init.
Okay.
So
Okay.
cd packages. There is no package, and then let's do Forge init.
Yeah.
What do we call it?
I don't know, smart contracts.
Okay, let's do contract.
Cool, standard math, nice.
All right, man. I guess we're just gonna go for it, huh?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
I'm just gonna create one called social media.sol.
Sure.
And then let's do pragma, solidity, whatever. Contract, social media, boom. Here we go. So features. claim username. Post message. Yeah. God damn it. GitHub Actions. It just understands what we're doing. Follow user. Yeah, yes, unfollow user too. What else? Like message. I'm gonna just say perhaps liking is done with a coin.
Interesting. Okay. Post message. Okay, you have follow and follow. Oh, and I guess like the user name, like when they post something, the user might have like a picture to showcase who they are. Like it could be like an NFT or something. I'll just put user metadata.
I mean, the upload file image too. For this, we will need like IPFS and whatnot, but and I want to learn more about this too. Like, how do you combine the two? Like, what I've heard of things like you put the file on IPFS, you put the hash on the contract, like stuff like that. But I'm not entirely sure what that means. So I want to learn about that too, you know.
Metadata.json.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, man. Phase 0. Here we go. So what should we do? Claim username?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we have to start creating users first before we do any of this. So yeah, let's start with that.
Okay. So
we can write down like the parameters that make up the username. Maybe like, should we limit like the length of it?
yeah, we should, huh? By the way, let's not deal with any of that, like, oh, use bytes. Oh, you know, for like no gas optimization here. We're just like getting some dog shit v0 out just so we can unblock the rest of the project.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So limit, let's say, and then we need to like check if username already exists.
And then like obviously, not obviously, but we may want to break this into a separate contract. Break the username claims into a maybe, you know, but again, dog shit v0. So
yeah, dog shit. Okay. Store username on chain and link to. Okay, so you were thinking we have an address. Okay. Not mapping. We have a string which represents the username.
Or should we be like username to address? I think it should be string to address, huh? Do we ever, for example, do we need to ask what is the username of a given address? Or do we ask what is the address of a given username? You know?
Yeah. I mean, like, should an account be able to make multiple usernames, right? Like different accounts. And I think they should be able to.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I think we should look at the address, which then goes to the usernames. Should it be like, if there's multiple usernames though, should we have like another mapping within the mapping?
So if one user if an address is allowed to have multiple usernames, then the mapping should not be from address to username. It should be like that can't exist because that it's not one to one. It's one to many. But a string username will definitely belong to at most one address. And in our domain layer, the questions we're going to be asking are, what are the, like, yeah, what is the address of this username? And is this username taken? So I think it should be like this.
That makes sense, yeah.
And
So
we
this
may
is
be
where-
also asking, what is the, or what are the usernames owned by this address? In fact, we can make it like stupid simple and be like, it's one to one. There's no, you're not allowed to have more than one. And you can't change it.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Let's just keep it like that. I mean, like, this is just simple, like, POC kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that adds a huge layer of complexity if we do that. So yeah.
It's crazy, right? Like that domain alone, it would take days to, if not weeks, to like properly model it. Just the username layer,
Yeah.
it's insane. But yeah, doc should be 0. Let's just keep it very, very simple.
Okay. Cool. And then we'll just have like a required statement that will look at the string to make sure to see if the username already exists or not. And if it doesn't, then yeah, if the address is 0x or something, then they can take that over.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, let's do that then.
Function claim.
Let's write everything.
Sorry?
Let's write every edge case and like everything as a comment. So,
sure.
For example, a user is allowed only one username.
I don't have syntax checking on my maybe I need to download an extension.
You should. It helps a lot.
Like I have it on my normal VS Code, but I don't have it in this thing. Search it up real quick.
Okay. Why don't you do you want to just like work inside claim username while I'll just try to figure out like post tweet?
Sure.
I've never done this kind of pair programming, by the way, like working on the same file at the same time on different parts. This is cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. Okay, require really forget how to write require statements. Oh, I see. That's doing this wrong.
No, we have to give the
Name, yeah. Okay.
By the way, I just realized I actually need your help here to discuss something.
Okay.
Because like we did a fairly good job thinking about the edge cases and whatnot here, but like the post stuff is also, it requires some diligence. So like, how do we structure it? I'm gonna shut down Copilot for 1 second. So every post should have a unique ID, right? So we can refer to them.
Mm-hmm.
And we can make it incremental. Like we don't need to do UUID or hash or whatnot. So there's that. And then do we do like maybe a struct?
This is okay. And the struct contains the metadata for the post, like what the post is about, like the description, the ID. So the content of it.
Right? Author is gonna be address.
Should be string content.
Yeah.
I also think, yeah, is there a way to like, should we just like hash the content string or something so it's not like this huge piece of data? And then when like unhash it on the client side or decrypt it or dehash it. Easy way to do that. Like, you know, like JSON serialized, deserialized kind of thing.
Do we need that? Can we? I mean, if we
like,
hash it to save space, we can't unhash it. So, I mean, the legit way to do this, from my understanding, is not storing the content itself in here, storing it on a different kind of storage, maybe IPFS, maybe some kind of other decentralized storage. But I don't want to take it that far for this project. Like, I want this to be completely on chain. So I say we keep it this way.
wait, yeah. I mean, like, wait, we could just JSON serialize it on the client side, right? Or something.
JSON, what would that help with?
Wouldn't that like make the? Actually, never mind. That's wrong. I was thinking it would make the data. Never mind. Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to like compress the string.
Okay. So the other usual stuff like created at blah blah. I don't think we need any of that here because it can be derived from
Right.
the block basically. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Or do we add a timestamp, like timestamp created at? Because I'm just gonna leave a comment here. Discuss timestamps in the future. For now, this is good enough.
Yeah, I mean, like we could even just add it, and like worst case, we don't use it and we remove it. Post ID, author, content.
I wanna keep it commented for now, because I don't know if we actually need it.
Okay. Um, should it have like uh number of likes as well?
Not on the struct. It should be
Oh,
outside the struct from the mapping.
why is that?
Oh, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I thought the likes themselves would have some kind of a complex structure, but maybe not. Because do we wanna? We do want to undo, give the ability to unlike things, right?
Right. Could Yeah, but like yeah, I'm just thinking like if the likes were in the struct, you could just decrement that.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good call out. So uh num likes. And do
But
we need good?
well, sorry, one I'm just thinking there's num likes, but then like
We need an
do we have
accounting
to
variable. We need an accounting variable for sure. Like address to uint 256.
how do
Liked.
we ensure that like someone like link the likes to the person who's liking it, if that makes sense? Like for example, if an account like likes a post, right?
Yeah, I was asking how we're going to link the likes to the address that's giving the like so that an address can't give double likes to a post.
Yeah. And we also want to be able to show literally like who liked the um the post. So not only do we want to show or cover whether someone liked the post, so like address to post, that needs to be covered. Post to addresses also needs to be covered, but not in the contract. That was that was the discussion we had when Zoom went out. So yes, we need basically one accounting variable here to see whether something was liked or not, and then we also need events to track who liked what, so it can be processed off chain.
Yes.
Okay, so likes basically here, and then event um, back at macro we had some convention for event names. Was it like event like or something? What was the convention?
I don't remember exactly, but the way I read it is like and then whatever event.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
And then what was the syntax again? Like you put it parentheses or something? That was it, right?
Yes, and then
the
you put the
parameter.
types in as well.
Yeah.
So it could be UN 256, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put that for now.
Okay, let's do UN 256 post ID. Right? So that post is liked. And then address liked by, maybe? Or that could also technically be derived, I guess, from like off-chain, but let's just keep it. It's not a big deal. And then I guess event on like Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then it doesn't return anything. How do I?
Yeah, and do we need this returns bool here? Like, what is this gonna help with?
Yeah, I don't think we need that. I just kept it there if for in the case that it doesn't make sense actually because it's gonna revert if it's incorrect.
Right? Yeah. Same
Okay,
for
wait, you
here, I
just do it like
guess.
that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how to do it without the return. Yeah, and then for alphanumeric characters, I found this Stack Overflow, which I'm just gonna put over here.
Maybe we should allow like dashes and shit too. I don't know, but
Yeah, like I mean, it does get a bit more complex. I'll just copy paste the code just for you to take a look at. But yeah, this is pretty much it. So they look through the ASCII characters just to check to make sure that each character contained within our string or a byte string, I guess, byte 32 string, falls alphanumeric. I don't know what to call it, like nomenclature or whatever. But yeah,
okay.
I mean,
Yeah, let's keep it this way for now.
Okay.
And I would also say let's only allow like lowercase, because then we don't have to normalize stuff.
Okay.
And we can just make that better eventually.
So yeah, I'll just make a modifier, and then I'll add that onto here. It'll be one of the checks.
Beautiful. Is valid username or something like that?
Yes, it's a great name.
Do we need it anywhere other than claim username?
No, I'm just making it this way though to make the code a bit cleaner.
Okay, go for it.
But perhaps, yeah. Oh my gosh, so much review. This is great though.
Man, I haven't done like coded smart contracts basically ever after graduating from the program.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought you were doing the like consulting stuff.
There is a lot of consulting you can do around the contracts. Usually the clients I get, like they have the contracts basically built. And
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so I haven't done any like contract writing gigs. I usually gave services around the contract. So this is like super cool for me because I've been meaning to work on a contract. I think I'm getting rusty, and like this is gonna be good to get back into this game.
Amazing. That's great. Shit. How do I? Okay.
Another question I have for you: do we need to store the ID inside the post? Probably not, right?
I think it's wait. So why would you think what's the thinking for not storing inside the post?
Storage.
And then okay, you're saying another way to do it would be through the events.
No, it's already stored on the on the mapping. So like if we're getting to a post, we're already doing so through the ID.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
So you already have it.
You're right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, if we kept it in
Unless I'm
here,
missing
that
something.
no, I think you're correct. That makes sense. Yeah, you'll have a mapping of UN 256, which is the ID, which then goes to the post.
Okay.
That's what you're thinking, right?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna remove this guy.
Okay. And I'll just put this here. I don't know what we will call it. Oh wait, I thought you could do this.
Posts.
Sure. Yeah. Easy.
Done. Okay.
Okay, so
Do we need to protect against things like people liking posts that don't even exist yet and like shit like that?
yeah, that's an interesting edge case. I mean, yeah, I think it's a simple require statement, right? Like just check if the post exists or not.
Yeah.
So we can just throw that in the require statement or modify whatever you're making. It makes sense, right? Like you could just spam a post, random post, send a bunch of likes. But
Yeah.
it's like I also don't know why someone would do that.
Yeah, also good question. Like this is basically us increasing the gas cost of the goodwill users because a weird will user is potentially doing something that kind of doesn't hurt anyone.
Right.
So maybe we don't need this.
Yeah.
I'll just remove this for now. Okay. I'm gonna do this guy. So require likes. The like should be UN256 to address, not address to UN256, right?
Sorry, I'm not really paying attention.
No worries, no worries. I think that's the way. No, that also doesn't make sense. It should be a mapping of a mapping. I do need you to verify this one though, because like mappings of mappings are always weird.
Okay.
But do your thing and let me know when you're done, so we can discuss this.
The bytes 32 and the bytes 32 array are the same thing, right?
Bytes 32 and bytes 32 array are not the same thing.
No.
I mean, bytes 32 is an array of bytes technically, but bytes 32 array is like an array of arrays. It's like the
It's array
difference
of
between a
arrays.
long.
Oh.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I'm just saying what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So bytes 32 is gonna be like what, 4 characters or something?
No, bytes 32 isn't it 32 characters?
It's 32 bytes, and a byte is 1 character. I guess so, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I confuse it with bits. Yeah. So it's 32 characters. So, oh, that's good. A username is limited to 32 characters. That just like works out nicely.
Yeah, exactly. That's
probably the reason too.
Don't have to check it. So how I pass another thing to a modifier. Okay, I think that makes sense. Okay, I think the claim username part is done.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm Control-Z-ing your code.
All good.
Oh, and I should have an event for creating a new username or claiming a user. So
Okay. Can you review my unlike stuff, and I can review your claim username stuff? I want you to especially pay attention to the mapping things with likes.
okay.
The only thing I found with you is just like the name of the event. I think it should be claim username event. That's the only thing I saw.
Yeah, sure. Damn, you're fast. I'll just change that real quick. Cool. Let's see. I see. Okay, that's how you're checking to make sure that posts. Okay.
And I found another thing. We also need to have the other side of the mapping, I think. So a user is only allowed one username.
Right. Okay. I see. Yeah.
Maybe we should get rid of that requirement for this project. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think it matters. Like, why should they only? What's the consequence of them being able to make multiple usernames?
I mean, the argument would be like they can hold usernames, but what can they do with it, first of all? Because they're not transferable. You can't profit from them. You can use it to, you can do it to grief the system, but it's gonna cost you a lot. And
I guess like theoretically, like if this, well, I mean, they could do the same thing though by just making new wallets, right? And then like making
exactly,
another
that's.
username.
But
So, and
how about this
like,
then?
okay.
Go ahead. Sorry, I have one
Oh,
question. Go ahead.
I mean, if like somehow we're able to make 2 to the power 256 usernames or something, right? And they griefed us. I mean, let's say in the future iteration, we could just have something that could check for that. You know, like if our username count was close to that point, perhaps we just employ a new smart contract that like takes over for the next iteration. I don't know, something like that.
Okay, so like there are no big security issues, but there is a user experience issue. So the tweets or the posts are stored under your address. Which username do we display for you if you have multiple ones? And we still need a map, like no matter what, we need a mapping from the address to a username. I think we need that other mapping.
The address to the username mapping.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
And I think eventually it will be actually pretty nice if we moved all of the username logic into a separate contract, because I'm realizing like it will. I think like we should create an abstraction, just be like claim username, good, and then maybe get username of an address, like two abstract functions, and then like we can grow that and add more and more complexity and sophistication as needed. Not today. Today's dogshit v0, so it can all be in one contract, but I think it's gonna get there pretty fast.
Yeah, it can get pretty hairy. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So another smart contract can just manage the usernames.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, all right, going back to the like conversation about creating a mapping of the address to the username. Are you saying that we should refactor what we currently have to work in that way? Or you're saying we just create
No,
another
we have to create another
mapping?
one, I think, because
Okay.
we need both sides of the equation. Like a username should not be claimed twice, but a user should not claim two usernames either. Because it's one-to-one, I don't know how else to enforce one-to-one on a Solidity contract other than using two separate mappings.
Two separate. Yeah, I'm thinking. I wonder, is there, in my head, I'm getting this idea of a mapping to a mapping for some reason. I'm just thinking about how that, I don't know if that's something that would work.
It wouldn't, because
No, it won't. Yeah.
yeah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. So I guess usernames can become something like username to address, and then we can create another variable called address to username.
I'm just
Something like
searching it up
this.
to see if there's what people are saying. Yeah, sure, whatever. I think this is good.
Cool.
Let me just add that. I mean, yeah, like this is, we're just trying to get this done quickly, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't matter that much. Cool. Okay, so the like post, negation, likes, post ID, and then the sender. Okay, so if it's false, or true, yeah, it's false. Post ID.
I'm gonna add that counterpart address to username. If you're doing it, might as well have that.
Okay.
What's the null state of a string?
I am not sure. That's a good question. I'm gonna make this a bit more clear. So this should be false. This should be false. And this true.
Oh, we can look for the length.
Okay, so we got like post, unlike post.
How do we get the length of a byte 32? Or is it always just 32?
It's always gonna be 32, but it might just be like, I don't know, if there's 16 characters populated, the rest will be empty, I think.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
But to get the length of a string, you can actually, if I go to the Stack Overflow, what you can do is convert it to, here, I'll just copy paste this code.
Okay, go for it.
Oh shit. Just for you to like take a look at.
Cool. So let's claim username. All right. So we got post, follow, unfollow.
So yeah, let's we can look at these together and write down the parameters, I guess.
Yeah. You want to start with post?
Yeah. So give the content, user can post. Should we have a cap as to how long the length of the mess? Yeah, we should probably have a
Yeah,
cap.
we should.
Should probably say arbitrary number for now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And we kind of have all the metadata for the post already. I think we pretty much just need to fill in the struct post.
Yeah, basically, man. And then send like emit an event. That's it. And we have to also increment the last post ID. That's it.
Okay. Are we gonna have user metadata?
Is it? Wait, related or unrelated to post message?
It's unrelated to post message. Well, I guess, yeah, it's.
I see what you're saying. We need a mapping.
It's kind of related. Like, it's unrelated in the sense that you don't really need it for the post, but using the post, you can get the author, and then from the author, we can then get metadata about the user, such as like their NFT profile picture or something, whatever it is. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And then we can pull that on the front end and display that in the front end.
Yeah. Okay. So we need like a profile module, basically. We could even let people do things like add a bio, add links, set your NFT avatar.
I think an easy way to do it now is just to create another struct with like user metadata, and then we can have a mapping where the key is address, so the author, and then the value is just that struct, the metadata struct.
Yeah, and we can move the username, maybe the second mapping into that one.
Move the username mapping. Yeah,
the second
we could
one,
do
like
that.
address to username, we can move this one into the struct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
so yeah, go for it. Struct.
I'll write all this stuff down before we start implementing. Is there anything I'm missing?
NFT profile picture should probably be something like contract ID and token ID.
Yes.
From which we cannot just, trivially look up the URL of the image.
Yeah, actually, I've done this before. I think you're right. I think we had to use some indexer, or man, I forget what it's called. There's an API that lets you get all this stuff, but no, I forget. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just put TBD for now.
Yeah. Honestly, also in the spirit of wrapping the dog shit v0 up, I think we should keep the profile very slim for this round.
Okay.
So let's make it struct. Like user profile, basically. It's gonna be Yeah, bytes32 username. Goddamn. ChatGPT once
Wait,
again.
what the hell?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Copilot. That was cool. So
Yeah,
we don't need this for now, right?
no.
Because we said TBD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same for add bio, because I don't want to deal with like a lot of
Yeah, we'll
getters
keep
and
it
setters.
simple.
Yeah. And then basically this one goes away, address to username. This one to username. Instead of that, we just say
Keep the mapping from address to
user profiles,
profiles. Okay.
sender dot user name dot length, and then here is going to be the same. Yeah. And then we're leaving these as like placeholders for now. And then we basically have like 3 final major features left.
All right, we're almost there.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Fastest
All right.
development cycle ever.
Yes, we just gotta do follow user now, and then
Yeah.
we'll test the smart contract later.
Yeah. No testing allowed here, man.
Yeah.
We have to YOLO this shit.
Yeah, YOLO development.
Yeah.
That's what we should make this YouTube thing about. YOLO development, no testing.
Yeah. YOLO dev.dog.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we? Follow user, unfollow, and post. I think we can implement post pretty easily. So what's it gonna be like? Function post. Jesus. Let's see if this is good. You have Copilot.
Nah, I need to get this thing. It's unreal. 0. That's insane. What the heck? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Unreal.
I guess we don't have to do any coding there then.
Yeah, honestly, you just gotta look. Go to line 35.
Okay.
Look, I'm just gonna hit tab.
What the hell? It's insane.
Yeah, you literally just comment your code. It just takes care of it. Let's disable it because I actually think it kind of interferes with my learning right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what's the deal with follow user? First of all, how are we gonna look at this data? On-chain and off-chain. On-chain, we wanna see the followers and also who you're following. On-chain, either one should be enough, I think, for enforcing the domain rules. Like you can't follow someone twice. If you want to unfollow them, you have to be following them in the first place.
Yeah, which also, if we're doing it, on chain, then we have to keep track of that as well. So, should that be in the user metadata struct?
Like the number of followers?
Who you're following?
Good question.
It's gonna be a huge array, though. Is the only thing.
Yeah. So when I hear arrays, it's usually like a yellow flag because it shows to me that my thinking is a little wrong.
Okay.
So first of all, what is the rule? The rule is you can only follow someone once, and if you want to unfollow them, you have to be following them in the first place. And this
Sounds
is
like it could be a mapping. We can use mappings for this.
And I think it can be just one-way mapping, because basically, here's the way I'm thinking about it. Do we have any on-chain actions pertaining to who is following you? Like, example, you can only do X if Y is your follower. And my answer is no, we don't have these things. This to me, again, implies that we don't need to store who is following you. Instead, we should store who you are following. The reason we do have on-chain actions pertaining to who you are following. Example, follow, unfollow. The other stuff is user experience, meaning we can depend on the indexer to get that data, events and indexers.
Okay.
This is my thought framework, but I'm not certain if it's the right mindset.
Yeah, I mean, okay, cool. You can only do X if Y is your follower. Okay, we don't need to store who's following you. Instead, we should store who you are following. That makes sense. So, how do you propose we record who you are following?
We can do two things. We can put it on the contract root or the profile. I'm gonna argue against putting it on the profile because like the lines are blurry here in terms of where it belongs. Because maybe in the future we want to move the user profile into its own sort of module. And like the general rules are pretty simple here. Like you just have a bunch of fields. There are no rules about, like, they don't impact anything. What they are, what these fields are. Like there are no actions that depend on them. It's just like a getter and setter. Whereas following it's like a module of its own. Again, maybe I'm thinking a little too much in terms of like classic Web 2 development, in terms of like separation of concerns and whatnot, which is something I want to avoid. But I don't know. That's what feels right to me.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm just thinking about like the why of all this and the reason we wanted. Well, the reason I'm thinking we have store the followers or the people that you're following is so that on the front end we can get that data and then fetch the data in your newsfeed pertaining to who you're following. And then another way, so instead of storing it on chain, we could have a bunch of events, and then we can have an indexer that will allow you to query. I guess what you would have to do is query all the events from when you created your account until like this current time.
Exactly.
And you'd have to parse that. And then I guess it's like a little inefficient though. Like, is there a way to not have like a loop going through every single, like your entire history? Because like as time goes, no, not. But like the more actions you do, like the more overhead. So like the higher the cost of performing that computation.
So you pre-compute it. Like you set an indexer, and also like this is the main concept behind a subgraph. The derived data querying can happen in real time because the data is constantly being ingested as the events get emitted from the blockchain. So the data is going to be nice and ready, maybe not in immediate real time, but it's going to be in the database, and we will be just like querying it. Classic Web2 style. The indexer is going to be like running in real time, listening to these events, and then processing it and shaping the data in the way that we want.
I guess that's it, right? Like shaping the data in the way that we want. Like we can then just, pre-compute and have, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense to do it that way. So then we don't have to store all this on chain. So all we need really is just the events.
I think so. That would be my bet here.
Okay. And then if it's pre-computed, cool. We just grab the most recent state.
Yeah. So mapping from address to bool following. Who am I following? Right?
Do we even, why do we need that?
Because there are on-chain actions pertaining to who you are following. Yeah. Okay. We can't just do events here. Like, for example, if you're unfollowing someone, if you're unfollowing someone, that depends on you having them followed in the first place. And since that's an on-chain action with the rule set, the state better lives on-chain. And also, like let's say we don't do this, it's just events and we process it on the indexer. I guess that could work too, to be honest. You just emit a bunch of, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because you can't query the existing events on chain. You know, like you can't query the previous events on chain. You can just look up the storage. The event layer is write only from the Solidity side. So if you want to maintain rules, we have to depend on storage. So we can't just emit an event. So we need this mapping, but we don't need the other one.
Okay.
So address from address to should we do address or username? We should do address, no? We should do the transformation off chain.
Just thinking. Based on our mappings. I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, sure. Now I'll save a bit of gas, because then otherwise I have to take this username, go into the mapping, get the address, and then go into the, okay. So, let's say, user to follow. I'm not sure.
You can just say user, I guess. It's fine.
Okay.
Because the function name is also
User. Okay.
follow user, unfollow user.
Okay, cool. So
Mm-hmm.
and then we gotta put the events as well.
Yeah.
Do we need an unfollow and follow event? Could it just be the same thing? Could it be the follow event, and then we just add like the state,
Yeah.
most recent state.
I guess we can do the same for like as well.
Probably better naming the state, but
Yeah, let's say following or is following. And I'm gonna do the same for is liked, and then unlike post event becomes false. Okay, so that covers follow, unfollow, and then can we do the bio stuff as well?
Sure, YOLO.
Fucking YOLO. Let's just finish this, you know?
Let's just turn on Copilot. Let this fucking thing finish the code.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, let's try that. Let's try that.
Okay.
Function set bio. Great. And then for the NFT stuff, let's do we can do something like this where struct avatar or profile pic, and then we can be like address contract address, and then UN256 token ID, and then we can be like, okay, profile pic, and then let's do set profile pic. So here, like, we kind of need to check if they actually own the NFT.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you know, what happens if they give the NFT away, shit like that. So it's kind of a can of worms.
let's keep it on the back burner for now. I think
Yeah, exactly.
I need to take a look into how I did it before. Also, I don't remember.
Okay.
So maybe let's comment out profile pic then.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, let's completely comment it out instead of having that in there at all. And then for the bio, we should emit a bio event. Event set bio event. Do we need the string bio to be emitted? Probably not. Just that the fact that they changed their bio. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think?
Great success.
Great
Very nice.
success. Very nice. I think we're good, man. I think this gives us something to work on. I think we basically unblock the rest of the project. I wonder what the other guys are gonna think like once we post this, because this was pretty fast. Like we literally started the project this morning, and then this part is done. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. Obviously, this code is gonna be like super buggy, super.
Yeah, we haven't tested shit, so
yeah. But who cares? Who cares? Dog should be 0. Here we go.
Dog should be 0. Yeah, I mean the scheme is there. You know, they know what to do. The events, so that's good.
Yeah.
Foundry is going to be interesting. I'm gonna learn a lot.
I'm gonna say dog shit dot v0 commit done. You push. Cool, man. It's done.
It's done. We did it.
We fucking
Virtual
did it.
High five, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, thank you. I had a great time. I mean, I wasn't planning to spend like fucking 4 hours of my Saturday planning this whole project and then fucking coding it with you. This was very nice.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Had a good time.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. Good vibes, good times.
Exactly.
What's up, dog?
Yeah.
A couple homies.
There you go. There you go. All right, man.
All
I
right.
guess let's do the rest async, and then I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.